stadiums are considered sacred for clubs. In fact, some refer to them as the temples or places of worship for clubs. However, some stadiums are not exclusive to a single team. They become specific to a city, hosting multiple teams due to the presence of several teams in that city. Since teams from the same city are often arch rivals, these stadiums end up hosting matches for two rival teams. Today, we will explore football teams that share the same stadium. Before we delve into the video, I'd like to invite you to subscribe and join our community as a token of appreciation for the effort put into researching and producing these football-related videos. If you enjoy content like this, feel free to like the video. And to stay updated with our latest uploads, don't forget to enable notifications. The steps I just described take only a few seconds of your time. Enjoy the video. Maracanã Stadium, one of Brazil's and perhaps the world's largest stadiums, was constructed for the 1950 FIFA World Cup. In fact, the final of that year's tournament was played there, and a crowd of 200,000, including those without tickets, witnessed the live spectacle, a record that remains unbroken to this day. This iconic stadium, still in active use, continues to host matches for Flamengo and Fluminense. Initially, Fluminense had another stadium where they played important matches, but 15 years ago they moved to Maracanã, making it their exclusive home ground. With a current capacity of 80,000, the stadium sees an average attendance of 53,000 for Flamengo matches and around 32,000 for Fluminense matches. During Rio de Janeiro derbies, particularly the Flamengo Fluminense matches, the stadium witnesses near full capacity. There are many examples where arch-rivals share the same stadium, and one such instance is in the Indian Football League with two prominent teams, Mohun Bagan and East Bengal. In a country where football is not as popular, these two teams stand out as they do not face relegation. Both teams are based in West Bengal and play their matches at the Salt Lake Stadium. Azadi Stadium, located in the capital city of Tehran, hosts matches for two of the country's largest teams, Persepolis and Istiklal. Persepolis, having clinched the championship in 6 of the last 7 years, holds a total of 15 titles, making them the most successful team in the country. Istiklal, on the other hand, has secured 9 championships. These two prominent teams from the capital have been sharing the same stadium since 1973, which is nearly 50 years. It might sound intriguing for a third-division team to use Bayern Munich's stadium. However, that's the reality. In the past, Bayern's major arch-rival was 1860 Munich. As Bayern experienced significant growth, 1860 Munich, the second-largest team in Munich, has been in a consistent decline since the 1970s. In 2017, they had dropped down to the 4th tier of German football. Currently, they are competing in Bundesliga 3. They often play their matches in a stadium with a capacity of 15,000. However, when they were in the second division, they shared the same stadium with Bayern. Perhaps, due to recent lack of sporting success, a decrease in the number of fans attending the matches can be considered the main factor. Founded in 1891 and 1899 respectively, these two Belgian teams, with a history spanning over a century, used to play in different stadiums until 1975. In that year, a stadium with a capacity of 29,000 was constructed in the city of Bruges. Since then, both teams have been playing their matches in the same stadium. Due to Club Brugge's significantly greater success, there is a noticeable difference in average attendance, with a gap of 25,000 to 6,000 spectators. When it comes to teams sharing a stadium, many football enthusiasts immediately think of Inter and Milan sharing their stadium, as I also placed on the video cover. However, in Italy, there's a notable example in the city of Rome, where two powerhouse teams, Roma and Lazio, share ownership of the stadium. Originally built in 1932 and later renovated for the 1990 World Cup, the Olympic Stadium has been their shared home since then. Despite previously having different stadiums, they have preferred this one since 1953. Matches between the two biggest teams in the capital, known as Derby del Cupolone and Derby Capitolino, take place here. Roma is associated with left-wing supporters, while Lazio attracts fans from the right wing. Hence, this derby can be considered an ideological clash. Roma is currently constructing a new stadium named Stadio della Roma, and once completed, they will move there. Therefore, the shared stadium arrangement is expected to come to an end in the near future. Originally expected to be completed 2 years ago, some delays occurred due to issues with the municipality. We continue our list with an interesting situation. Up to this point, you've seen two football teams sharing a stadium. Marseille is a football team, while Toulonnais is a rugby team. The stadium was constructed to accommodate both sports, and it has been shared by the two teams for a long time. A similar situation to the one at the Velodrome is occurring at a stadium in England. The football team, Wigan Athletic, and the rugby team, Wigan Warriors, share the same stadium. The stadium, built for both teams in 1999 in the city of Wigan, has a capacity of 25,000. One of the most intriguing stadium sharing situations is happening in Spain. A football team, Sociedad, shares the field with two rugby teams. However, the interesting part is that Aviron Bearnais is not a Spanish team, it is a French rugby team that plays its matches in Spain. These three teams, located in the Basque region near the French border, have been sharing a 32,000-seat stadium for 30 years. Returning to stadiums shared by football teams, we have Luzhniki Stadium, located in Moscow and built in 1956, with a capacity of 78,000. Instead of being commonly shared, one could say it primarily belongs to Spartak Moscow. This is because CSKA Moscow plays its important and European matches at Luzhniki Stadium, while hosting other matches at the 18,000-seat Khimki Arena. Khimki Arena is shared with another team from the city, Dynamo Moscow. The two prominent teams in the capital of Greece, Athens, namely Panathinaikos and AEK, play their matches at the Athens Olympic Stadium. Built in 1979 and later renovated for the 2004 Summer Olympics, the stadium has a capacity of 75,000. Lastly, we've come to one of the most notable examples of stadium sharing that everyone is familiar with. In the city of Milan, Italy, the two biggest teams, AC Milan and Inter, share a stadium. What distinguishes this stadium sharing arrangement from others is that each team gives the stadium a different name. While Milan refers to it as San Siro, Inter calls it Giuseppe Meazza. Originally, the pitch belonged to Milan, and Inter used to play their matches at another stadium in the city, Arena Civica. In 1947, Inter became tenants at San Siro, and since then, both teams have been using the same stadium. Meanwhile, Inter and Milan are constructing a new stadium named the Cathedral. Why are they building a new one? Not to move to a separate venue, but to continue sharing. Once the construction of the new stadium is complete, San Siro will be demolished. Our list has come to an end, but the sharing of stadiums has not. I included those with significant teams or interesting stories, and now I'll quickly share the others. In the city of Verona, Italy, the teams Chievo Verona and Hellas Verona used to share the Marcantonio Bentegodi Stadium. I say used to because Chievo Verona went bankrupt and closed down in 2021. The stadium now belongs to Hellas Verona. Let's continue with an example from Italy. This year, Genoa, newly promoted to Serie A, and Sampdoria, relegated to Serie B, share the Luigi Ferrari Stadium. In Austria, the capital teams Austria Wien and Rapid Wien share the Estadio Franz Horst Stadium. In Switzerland, FC Zurich and Grasshopper share the Letzigrund Stadium. From Azerbaijan, Neftchi Baki and FK Baki share the Tafig Baramov Stadium. Once upon a time, Kayserispor and Kayseri Erciyaspor shared the Kadir Has Stadium, but just like Chievo Verona in Verona, Erciyaspor went bankrupt and closed, leaving Kayserispor as the sole user of the stadium. In Izmir, Altay and Karşıyaka share the Alsancak Mustafa Denizli Stadium. Adana Demirspor and Adanaspor also share their home stadium. Today, we talked about stadiums used jointly by multiple teams and their stories. I enjoyed researching and preparing this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it too. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Goodbye.